Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. In this video, we'll discuss the first problem of Leetcode Weekly Contest 308. Again, it's an easy level problem. The problem name is longest subsequence with limited sum. So the problem statement says that you are given an integer array nums of length n and an integer array queries of length m. So return an array answer of length m where answer of I is the maximum size of a subsequence that you can take from nums such that the sum of its element is less than or equal to queries of I. Now it tells what basically is a subsequence. So subsequence is an array that can be derived from another array by deleting some or no elements without changing the order of the remaining elements, right? So let's directly jump to the solution or I would say explanation. So it says that you are given an array, let's call it nums. I'll take the first example itself for clarity. So that is 4 5 2 1, right? And then you are given another array that is known as queries, and the queries array here is 10 10 and 21, right? So now what we need to do, we need to find the length of maximum subsequence that I can form from this array, right? Now what is a subsequence? So suppose 4 5 2 and 1 is an array, so you can delete 0 or more elements from this array, any element, and the new array that you get is a subsequence. Like for example, suppose you delete 4, so 5 2 1 is a subsequence. Suppose you delete 5, so 4 2 1 is a subsequence. You delete 2, so it is 4 2 1, and so on. You can delete a couple of elements as well. Suppose you delete 4 and 2, so 5 1 is also a subsequence, right? So this is basically what a subsequence is. Now it says that I have given you a sum, I have given you a number. Now you tell me whether what is the maximum number of elements that you can form from this array, a subsequence, maximum number of elements in a subsequence that you can form from this array such that the sum of those elements in the subsequence is less than or equal to the given number, right? So suppose these are m elements, so you need to return an answer array of m, of length m, where we'll have 3 answers. So we'll find a subsequence where the sum of the elements is less than or equal to 3. So let's solve this problem itself. So one thing to note here is that here, suppose this is the array, right? Now you need to find the subsequence. So actually, even if you sort this array, the sorted array will become 1 2 4 and 5. Irrespective of what is the order of the elements, you can get every subsequence from this array as well, right? Now sorting will basically facilitate the solution here. How? We'll see that in the later part of the video, but the main concept is here that what you can do, suppose you sort it. Now you calculate the prefix sum, right? You calculate the prefix sum. Now what will happen? Just look at this array. What I do, I sort this array, it becomes 1 2 4 and 5. Now I calculate the prefix sum of this array. So the first element will be 1 itself, the second will become 2 plus 1, that is 3, the third will become 4 plus 3, that is 7, the fourth will become 5 plus 7, that is 12. What are we doing? So these are the 4 indices, and what we are doing, so index number 2 represents the sum of numbers from 0 to 2th index. Now what are the right? So this value 7, that means the sum of the numbers, first 3 numbers. So what is it? 1 plus 2 plus 4, that comes out to be 7, right? Index number 3 represents sum of these many elements. So what is this? 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5, that comes out to be 12, right? So this is a basic calculation of prefix array. Now what you do, once you have your prefix array, so in this case, suppose once you have 1 3 7 and 12, now what you do, these are the 4 elements. The problem says tell me the maximum number of elements that you can have in a subsequence such that the sum is less than or equal to 3. Now you already have things in the sorted order, right? So what suppose I come to this index, and what this index represents, it represents the sum of first 2 elements. So if this sum, that is if 3 is, if this is less than or equal to the number that I want to see, the current number which is given in the queries, then that means I can have at least 2 elements in my subsequence, right? I can have at least 2 elements in my subsequence. Suppose I move to the next index, so it comes out to be 7. Now 7 is greater than current. Here current is 3 because the first query is for 3, right? First query is for 3. So now what will happen? 7 is greater than 3. So now what I'll do, this tells me that if I take the first three numbers, then the sum of the subsequence becomes greater than equal to the number provided in the queries. But if I take just the first two elements, then my answer is, then I get the answer, then I get the sum less than equal to the current, right? So here the main concept in the problem is you first sort it and calculate the prefix sum. Why prefix sum? Why have you sorted the first thing? We have sorted it because the order of the elements doesn't matter here. Even if you change the order of the elements in a subsequence, in some or the other format, you can get all the same subsequence, right? So that is the first thing. The second thing, why are we calculating the prefix sum? So actually, even if you want, you can skip the prefix sum. You can do it at runtime. Ideally, since we calculate the prefix sum, we can also do a binary search. But why I haven't done a binary search here? Because the constraints were pretty less, and yeah, I wanted to submit the solution as quickly as possible. So that is why I did not do binary search. So that is the main thing. You calculate the prefix array, and then you basically, for every query, you traverse the array, and as soon as you find the sum which is greater than the current number provided in the queries, you break your loop and return your answer. Yeah, right? So let's jump to the exact implementation. Let me just fetch it. Yeah, so this is it. On line number 3, you can see I've sorted the array, and on line number 6, what I've done, I've calculated the prefix array. So I've used the same array, no need of constructing a new array. On line number 10, I have constructed a new answer array which I'll be returning on line number 22. So now for each and every query, what I've done, just see on line number 13, I've taken that my current answer is n. What does this mean? This means that I can have a subsequence having all the elements which satisfies my condition. So this is my initial value. I'll be updating this value on line number 16 and 17, right? So now what I do, I traverse the array, the prefix array that I have constructed, and on line number 15, you can see I've checked that if nums of j, that means the prefix of first j numbers, if that is greater than the current is queries of I on line number 12. So what you do, you break the loop. But before breaking the loop, update your answer. Why you are updating your answer? Because this answer will tell that how many elements were satisfying our condition, right? So that is why we updated by j. Why j? Because if you are at, it is 0 based indexing, right? So suppose you are at index number 2, so that means you are considering first 3 elements. So j equals to 2, but you are considering the prefix sum of first 3 numbers. So in this case, you will be considering, your answer will be dependent on first 2 numbers itself. So that is why I have applied j here, and on line number 20, I have done answer of I equals to current answer, that is how many numbers were satisfying your condition, and finally we have returned the answer. So yeah, relatively I would say a better first problem that you get in other Leetcode contests. So yeah, I think one of the main points to learn here is that whenever you consider a subsequence, you can also change the order of the elements and you will be good to go. All the subsequence that you can get in the first array, you can also get those subsequence when you sort the array, right? It just depends that you will be deleting different elements to get the same subsequence, but overall that will be same, right? So yeah, I hope you learned something new from this video. Do support it by giving up a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel. Most of the viewers of this channel are not subscribed yet, so yeah, if you find this channel useful, do subscribe to it. Also, in case you have any queries, do let me know in the comment section. I'll try to revert on each one of them. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.